And here's David talking to Daniel Shenton.
I see the world as being flat. It's a disk. I mean, there are changes in the surface, but generally it's a flat disk.
And what about the planets, the sun, the moon?
I'm not sure about them. It seems to me from the evidence that I've seen that they're probably spheres, but it's definitely not proven, I think.
And the Earth, being a disk, presents certain problems with gravity, but you have a solution to that too?
Yeah, the effects of gravity, I feel, could be simulated, or what people think of as a sort of mainstream idea of gravity would be simulated by simply the disk of the Earth moving upward, accelerating upward at 9.8 meters per second. It would have the same effects as what people traditionally think of as gravity.
And what about all of the photographs? I mean, the Flat Earth Society seemed to die in the sort of the space age when people got out of Earth's orbit and sent back pretty damning evidence that actually the Earth is a sphere.
As far as the evidence of the space age, I would say that anything like that could have been easily faked. I mean, especially with the technology we have today, you can simulate alien worlds, ghosts, demons, massive battles of orcs and anything else you want. I don't think that proves much of anything.
But why would people do it? Why would people go to the effort of this giant, I presume you think it's a giant global conspiracy to cover up the fact the Earth is flat? Why would they do that?
There probably are financial motives behind it. And I don't think the conspiracy needs to be as, global as you would think. If you get pockets of conspiracy, most people aren't going to look into it very much. They're not going to investigate it, and they'll just accept these things at face value, that the Earth is a sphere. Not everyone needs to actually be part of it for this to propagate pretty quickly.
Now, a lot of our listeners might think this is just genuine nuts, sort of anti-science babble, but actually there's a serious scientific strand to this, isn't there? Because you think it's all about not trusting what you see and testing.
Yeah, before the Flat Earth Society was the Flat Earth Society, it was called the Universal Zetetic Society in the 1800s. It was a group of people that wouldn't accept mainstream science because they didn't feel that all these things had necessarily been proved. Their idea was that they needed to go out and investigate these things for themselves and get really solid evidence. And about a lot of issues, like the shape of the Earth, people don't do that. They just accept what most people believe as fact, even though they haven't looked into it themselves. And I think it's really important that people get out and investigate these things and prove it to themselves instead of just accepting it because it's the mainstream view.
And the old chestnut, if the Earth's flat, what stops people falling off?
Nothing, I suppose. There's a barrier around the edge, but ultimately I think if you could get past that, you would fall off.
And you're serious about this, aren't you? This isn't a clever metaphor or a marketing ploy for something else. This is what you truly believe.
It is. If it's a marketing ploy for something, then I'm not aware of it, and I'm certainly not getting paid for it. So.
The Flat Earth Society believes that the Earth is flat. And they also believe that the whole, all the information about how the planet is a sphere is made up by NASA. It's a NASA conspiracy. They're just trying to find ways to get more funding, more money. But in reality, the Earth is flat, and the rim is completely closed off by this massive ice wall, kind of like in the Game of Thrones.
Well, obviously. And the Starks sent, unfortunately, a lot of boys to that wall to protect it. Okay, so but I don't get it. Like, if the Earth was flat, why couldn't NASA make just as much money as if it's round? So, like, why do they have to fake everything? And JR had a good question earlier in the day about this story. Does that mean all the planets are flat?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Are all the stars flat? And why does it make a difference if they're flat or they're round? Like, what's the big advantage? Who's gaining all this money? Like, oh man, if the Earth is flat, we're gonna make no money at all. But if it's round, millionaires.
They have crazy, crazy theories. For instance, Earth's gravity is an illusion. So gravity is even some sort of conspiracy.
Okay, if you believe that, I got a great idea for you. Go to a skyscraper, jump out and find out what kind of illusion you got for you. Okay, and don't do it. Don't do it.
But they explain that. They explain that. Okay, so they say it's an illusion. Objects do not accelerate downward. Instead, the disk of Earth accelerates upward at 32 feet per second squared, driven up by a mysterious force called dark energy.
Yeah, that's much more likely. Okay, so we got two possibilities. One, the entire government, scientists, everybody who studied it has made up this giant conspiracy. And in fact, instead of gravity, we have dark energy that mysteriously controls the Earth, which is flat.
But we're moving on up.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe what everybody's saying is actually true. Or maybe 2 + 2 does in fact equal 4.
But what I don't understand is why do they believe this conspiracy? I don't understand what the point of it is. Do you see what I'm saying?
I know.
Like, what
they are lunatics.
Okay.
No, people enjoy conspiracies, and they have like this. I think it's a paranoid personality. This isn't like 7 dudes, right? I mean, there's like a significant chunk of people.
Each year they increase by 200 new members worldwide. Okay. So that's, I mean, it's not like, oh my God, millions of people joined the Flat Earth Society. But still, I mean.
That means like they're slightly competitive with the Scientologists. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, and I think what it is that there is a certain group of people who have a psychological condition where they're paranoid about everything. And so this feeds into it. They're like, yes, I knew it. OJ's totally innocent. And the dark energy forces us up rather than down because we're totally flat. Now, it seems like they don't have a very good point. The flip side is we have a correspondent at the edge of the Earth. And so let's just check in with him and see if, in fact, the globe is a sphere or if there is a wall to be protected. It's not the wall, it's not the stars, it's the Dothrakis!
It is known that the Earth is flat.
So what's behind you?
Behind me, there is a wall of ice that goes up to space.
But why would there be a wall of ice if you're in Dothraki and you're in a Dothraki field?
I am near the Dothraki Sea.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Are you a Khal?
My name is Kalmani.
Khal Kamani, it was a great pleasure, and thank you for saving us from falling off the Earth.
The pleasure is mine.